All right, my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I want to talk more about 16 gigabytes of VRAM and why I'm adamant about that being my recommendation for any GPU that you buy in 2024. Um, GDC is coming up, and we're going to hear like the developers conference and stuff like that. There are new things being added to the DirectX SDK that are features that are gonna be more like it's gonna be more of like connected to direct storage. The GPU is gonna be able to start handling more of your processing going forward. So what that technically means, it's not going to like happen like overnight. Not every single game and not every developer is going to automatically just implement this into their games. I mean, it is going to take a little bit of time, but you want to be ready for it. If the traditional way the games are built right now, where you need system RAM, you need VRAM, uh, this is just my thoughts. I'm still trying to check this out. I'm still trying to learn about this, and I think that a lot of people are missing that fact. But if your GPU is going to start processing most of this data on its own, it's going to need VRAM. You're going to have memory there. Once everything is directly sent from your SSD or your hard drive, wherever it's coming from, straight directly to the GPU. Your GPU is going to have enough memory to hold on to that data so that it can process it right there on your GPU. 16 gigabytes. Um, it seems like that there might be honestly the bare minimum going forward in my honest opinion. If you look at that and you think about this and you think about this logically, I mean, 12 gigabytes. Even if your card is more powerful, I don't know if that's really going to make a difference because of the fact that you're gonna have the GPU is gonna have to store that memory, and then be able to use that right there on the GPU itself. So yeah, I don't know. I absolutely feel like 16 gigabytes is going to be the minimum. That's why both AMD and Nvidia both have like the 4060 Ti Super or the 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte, the 7600 XT with 16 gigabytes. I just kind of feel like that is going to be the bare minimum, and I feel like if you try to, because I see this all the time, man, and everybody always tries to save a little bit of money and buy a product that will get the job done right now, but later down the road, like when you're fixing something or doing something like that, later down the road, you're just going to have to spend more money because you didn't completely solve the problem. You just put a band-aid on it. And that's what I kind of feel like 8 gigabytes and 10 gigabytes and 12 gigabytes is a band-aid. Yeah, it works right now, and it works for the most part consistently right now, but who's to say that your very next best favorite game is gonna, because let's face it, dude, if a game comes out and you can't play it on the hardware that you have right now, you have one option: upgrade. Right? You know what I mean? Like, if you want to play a game bad enough, you're gonna upgrade. So I'm not recommending that you go out and buy a 7600 XT over say a 6700 XT. I'm just simply saying that you know the performance difference between those two cards is 8 to 10% or something. So I mean, in real world, that's that's not that many. That's not like really a big gain in terms of FPS, but there are other factors like bitrate and all of that other stuff that comes into play. I don't know, man. I don't know. This future is weird, and I feel like we're getting a lot of bad information just all in general. I think playing or paying so much attention to like price versus performance and stuff like that. It really causes people to make decisions in PC gaming that might potentially lock them out of certain experiences, or give them problems down the road that they could have simply avoided by spending a little bit of extra money. And that's kind of why I recommend the 7800 XT. The 7800 XT is a very decent card. um I've had it in the PC now for the last, at least 4 or 5 days now, and I've been playing games with it, and generally I'm usually pretty satisfied with the overall experience that I'm getting out of that card. Even though I've got like a 7900 XT, I feel 100% comfortable using my 7800 XT to play games and to have fun with, experiment on, turn on ray tracing, all kinds of different stuff. Like I feel comfortable in the abilities of the 7800 XT. So I recommend that card because I feel like I feel like it's a good middle ground type experience. There are some games you can easily play at 4K because you have a 16 gigabyte VRAM buffer. It does really well at 1440p, and then even 1080p. It's a solid, all around card that I think you can. I feel like you get the best bang for your buck with that GPU. But that being said, there's also the 7900 GRE now, which is what, $50 more. So if you can squeeze that to get that extra, that extra push. I think your 7900 GRE is obviously going to give you a little bit better ray tracing performance, just due to the fact that it has the ADCUs, and ray tracing performance is directly tied to how many CUs your AMD GPU has. So that there's if you're ray tracing and all of that stuff, and you want to see what ray tracing looks like, or you want to at least have some sort of a playable experience. I'm not saying that the 7800 XT can't have a playable experience, but I feel like in ray tracing performance, the 7900 GRE is just a little bit better. It's got, what is it, like 20 extra CUs, so you get a little bit better performance when it comes to overall ray tracing performance out of that GPU. But yeah, both of them have 16 gigs of VRAM, and I do think that VRAM is going to become more and more important as gaming goes on. And if you want to prepare, and this is just my thoughts on this, man. Like I feel like, chasing, price to performance, or making, going back and thinking about, like buying like older hardware and stuff. Just the fact that, like, the 7000 series could potentially be getting AI upscaling, here this year, or in the short future, or something like that. That alone right there should kind of make you feel like, oh, should I really buy a 6000 series card? I mean, they're already 3-4 years old, versus the newer technology, which could potentially have better gains, here coming shortly. There's a lot of different, there really is. There's a lot of different factors that go into that. And, you know, I would just like to see the people that watch this channel that are trying to make these difficult decisions make the best one that they potentially can. And AI upscaling would definitely put these 7000 series GPUs in a completely different class. It would give them a better feature set. It would, potentially give them a longer life, um, as well as, having like a more VRAM. So my honest opinion is probably, if you have to pick a 6000 series GPU, I would go for something with 16 gigs. Like your 6800, forward, I would go with 16 gigs, and at least match the consoles. That is the biggest thing that I can recommend when it comes to GPU, and what GPU you should buy. Make sure you got 16 gigs of VRAM, and then find that price point that fits that. I've got the 7600 XT. I don't think it's a bad card. It definitely gets the job done. It does go into the 1440p range. So yeah, I don't necessarily see it as a bad buy, but if you can get it cheaper or wait until the price comes down just a little bit, then it might even make more sense. So, all right, my friends, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.